Well, today marks the start of August, the halfway point for summer break for a lot of kids in Western New York. But if you've been to your local Target, Walmart, or other store, you know that the back-to-school shopping aisles are already full. And today we're getting a much better sense of how much families will spend this year. A Statista survey shows the average household plans to spend about $890 on back-to-school shopping, up 3% from last year. And to pay for it, a new report from CNET shows nearly half of all shoppers will utilize some form of financing, maybe using a credit card or a buy now, pay later program. Joining us live to talk about that is Nick Wolny. He is a senior editor with CNET Money, the group behind this new report. I really appreciate you taking some time for us here and kind of breaking down what you found. $890, a lot of money to spend on school supplies. We should point out that also includes clothing and includes electronics, and it's just an average. But we've been talking so much about inflation for the past year or so. What is your takeaway on the cost of things this year?
Well, I think that the data that we found in partnership with YouGov and CNET Money really emulates a lot of what consumers have been experiencing all year long. 43% of consumers have communicated that they're going to use financing in some way in order to pay for back-to-school supplies this season. That's 27% who are going to use an existing credit card, 12% are going to take out a new credit card, 10% are going to use the buy now, pay later feature on their phone in order to pay for things. And it really reflects the efforts of combating inflation ultimately and having to deal with these high prices for well over a year now. The Fed is making efforts to pull inflation down, but what's important for consumers to know is that whenever the Fed raises rates, what ends up happening is that the interest rate on consumer products such as credit cards ends up going up too. So we have record high APR rates on credit cards. It's something good for consumers to be aware of.
Yeah, can you walk us through some of the risks that come with putting something like this on the credit card? And how out of the norm is it to hear, as you said, 40+% of people saying, they just don't have the cash on hand to be able to buy all this. They're going to have to resort to some financing.
Well, the credit card itself is not so much the issue. It's when we're not able to pay it off that it ends up becoming a problem. We had a separate report come out from the Fed of New York back in May, communicating that Americans collectively have $985 billion in credit card debt. It's a staggering number, but the more important statistic behind that is that it's a 17% increase year over year. So generally, Americans are leaning more on credit cards in order to make ends meet. If you're using that credit card, you want to pay that down as fast as possible. Again, these APRs are record high rates. It's just over 22% APR right now. And so that's something to be really aware of. You don't want to be paying extra money, extra interest on those expenses, especially with back to school season sort of being the tee up into the holiday shopping season. You don't want to go into the holiday shopping season already behind and already feeling like you're drowning in debt. So a fast payoff plan is going to really help you here.
Yeah, that's obviously great advice. Nick, with the time we have left here, what else would you say to people watching who are, just understandably worried about this big, thing they're going to have to tackle and buying all of these items? We mentioned that there are buy now, pay later things, but those also include interest payments. What would be your advice to people?
Well, what we know is that more Americans are shopping online for their back to school shopping. And so if that's you and your family, I would recommend looking at an online shopping browser extension. CNET has a free extension. There are many other extensions. You can install one of these free browser extensions. And what it will do is when you're looking at a product online, like say like a backpack on Amazon.com, if that same backpack is available on another website for a lower rate, that browser extension is going to let you know. And so while it only may be $5 or $10 in savings, if you've got multiple items to buy for a kid or you've got multiple kids, that really starts to add up. So that would be my one pro tip that you can do right now. Right now, after watching this segment, you could install a free extension and save some money.
Yeah, my Capital One credit card has the free extension, and it makes sure you're getting the best deal. Sometimes even gives you the coupon codes, right? So you might save even a little more there. Nick Wolny is senior editor with CNET Money, which put out this new report. Thanks for helping us understand what you found, sir.
Thank you very much.